I think you are a very masculine woman. I think you really want to be the head of the household. I think you really want
I
to
do
lead. I
not.
think you have a real problem of letting go and actually giving up, and giving space for a guy to tell you no and tell you what to do. You're really big on this compromise thing. You think every decision should be a joint decision. And I'm telling you, guys that aren't going to put up with that shit. Guys that make decisions for a living are the kind of guys that you want, that also are, because the guys you're going for, let's be clear. We talked about this before, but the guys that you're going for, the ones that can just swipe and have a new option, you're talking about a very tiny, small percentage of men out there. You are
Mhm.
fighting with with the vast majority of women. You are competing with a very small percentage of men. So a guy who has those options is not going to put up with bullshit. He's not going to want to argue with you and fight with you. He's not going to say, "Hey, I want this done on this day, on this time, and here's how I want it done." He doesn't want to have a fucking argument with you and compromise on how things are done. A guy wants
That's
to
not how
run
I run
his
in a
relationship
relationship,
like how he
though.
runs his household. But you say that, but I don't get the sense and energy. The energy that you give off versus the energy that Maham gives off are completely different. Soft,
Mhm.
feminine, quiet versus, and I'm not trying to pick on you. This is just my observation and people
No,
in the
it's fine.
chat as well. And I think a lot of this has to do with your job and your career as well. Kindergarten teacher versus corporate woman. You have to exhibit these competitive, domineering traits if you want to get anywhere in the corporate world, in the corporate life, because that's what it takes to succeed. And that's why men
Right.
are generally far better at it, or they're generally further along, or they're in higher positions because they're more built for it than women generally are. So
But
I know
I'm
you,
not like this in a relationship though, at
but there's
all.
no way that that's true, Lauren, because it's
It will,
not just
I mean, you can ask my
because
ex.
it's,
You can talk to him.
but he's an ex for a reason, isn't he? Like, it's not just a switch that you can flip off. How you
No,
are
it's when I'm
40 hours
comfortable
of the
around a man,
week.
I'm much softer. I'm much,
But
much
that's the
softer when I'm
problem. You
comfortable
just
with a
said
man.
but that's the problem. Your
What makes you
femininity.
comfortable?
Hold on, Spence.
Somebody
No.
who's
Yeah.
safe.
Hold on.
Go on, Moff. Go on.
You are now telling us that your softness and your femininity and your willingness to let a man lead is conditional, right? Being feminine is not conditional. Being masculine is not conditional. What happens if a guy walked up to you and he was like, "Hey, I like to wear high heels on the weekend and wear dresses and makeup until I'm with a woman that makes me feel comfortable in my masculinity, and then I'll take the lead and I'll start getting shit done." You'd laugh that guy out of the building.
Right. Hmm.
So it's a full-time gig. This idea, it's like, well, I will be feminine and I will turn on this feminine character only when I'm comfortable, then and only then when I'm comfortable. And that's a hurdle that you're essentially making a guy overcome. He's got to now jump through all these hoops, and he only gets the best of you after he's been like and I'm being a bit facetious here, but the point stands. When he's done all these things and when he has to lead and do the right things off the bat for you
Hmm.
to give him that same thing back. And
So
I
then
think, go ahead,
I have a
please.
question for you with
Yeah,
this. What is the difference then between a lot of men want a confident, independent woman, right? They find
they're
it
liars.
attractive. They're
They're
liars.
liars.
So they don't want a woman with
Either
confidence who
that,
walks with
either
confidence
that,
or walks into a room and has confidence.
either they're
Because
liars or they're
there's a
severely
fine line, right?
lacking. No, but either I think they're lying or they're severely lacking. But I think the popular thing, this boss girl sort of archetype that we've seen with the rise of feminism, a lot of women are like that. And especially, like, I mean, look, if I'm on a date with you and you're like, "Yeah, I run like 2 or 3 companies and, I got all these responsibilities and I'm trying to get laid," I'm going to tell you that I love boss girls. I'm going to tell you that I love boss babes. I love a confident woman that can command the respect from any guy in the room, because it's like, well, I'm not going to take this girl seriously I'm not saying you particularly, but I'm saying in general.
Mm. Yeah.
It's just like, like, I would definitely tell you I like that. But what you see, it's like those things generally aren't adding up, and the polarization doesn't work out in the end. Like, it's it's a men that are honest don't have much of a chance in dating. Most men that are being honest don't have much of a chance. I love when women say, like, "Oh, well, just be honest with me. Tell me you just want to sleep with me. You're not really interested." And it's not so you'll reward him for his honesty. It's so you can tell him, "Hey, there's the door. Thanks for telling me you only want to bang me. Now you can leave now." Not like, "Oh, here, I'll reward you for your honesty." So like and again, it's hard. There's no perfect answer to it. It's tough. That's the dating world.
I
But
mean, it's life in
coming
general.
into
You have to make
these,
money as well, you know?
I agree. I don't
So
disagree, but I think the problem is that I think the idea that you're withholding this femininity until like the right buttons get pressed or the right signals come. I think that, and you got to be
it's more so just
vulnerable
when
and
I
you got
go
to
on
be
a date.
honest.
As soon as I go on a date, I'm more feminine. I'm softer. If
Okay.
I'm in setting is what I
I buy
mean
that.
of a date.
I buy that. Spencer, you had a question.
Yeah, I was just wondering because you said you will become feminine once you feel comfortable around a man. But what
Yeah,
makes you feel comfortable? What is
I
that
guess
barrier?
what I mean is like I'll always be feminine and soft when I first meet a person, meet a guy, right? Just because I'm meeting a man and I'm a woman, right? So there's that instant reaction.
Okay.
But to be like a, I guess, less guarded version, I get is what I'm saying. I have to feel safe around you because at the end of the day, men are a threat to women, either which way.
Uh,
Physically, you are always a threat to us. You are.
Largely
So,
overblown,
I
incredibly
mean,
overblown, to be honest.
we are the lesser. When it comes physically, we are the lesser sex.
I agree with that.
There's no argument about that. So there's always going to be like a small part of you that's, wants to feel safe around whoever it is you're dating, especially if you're alone. So if I can get a good
So,
sense right off the bat, then yeah,
what is it
absolutely.
that makes you feel safe?
I mean, I guess how somebody behaves around you,
Is this something
you know.
that can happen on the first date, or is this something that
Yeah, I
you
think
need to
that's
be
something that can
around
happen on
them
the first.
for a few weeks?
No, I think first date you can pretty much tell someone how somebody is.
Okay, so can you from the first date still be like drop all those barriers and be
Yeah,
truly
for
feminine?
sure. Hmm.
All right, guys, I really hope that you enjoyed that clip. If you want to check out the full-length podcast episode, you can find that right over here. Also, make sure you visit my website over here where you'll find my supplements, the opportunity to book me privately one-on-one for coaching, and most importantly, my new School of Unplugging, which you'll find on the courses tab. Newer to the channel, hit subscribe.